What's up, Travel with the Dawson family? Welcome back to our channel. And as you know, I say D fam. Welcome back to the family, guys. D squad, she said D squad. But it's so good to have you guys. The fact that you are here today simply means that you have made it over to 2021. And guys, guess what? That simply means that you all are champion. You fought a difficult year and you managed to come out on the other side. And so today we're here just to have a chat with you guys and to reflect a bit on 2020 and also look forward a bit to 2021. Right, babes?
Yeah.
All right, so my baby's looking tired. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
You okay? Twin check. Give the guys a check in on the twins. How are the twins doing?
They've been kicking all day.
Kicking all day?
Kicking all day.
How far on are you now?
27 weeks yesterday.
So guys, we are now 27 weeks, which means we have about 10 to 12 weeks to go. Possibly about 10 weeks to go. So we are more than halfway through the journey. All right, so
approaching the third trimester next week.
So yeah, next week we approach the third trimester. You've done really well. Oh, next week we're in the third trimester. You've done really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up.
Looking beautiful, you know, with the... Sometimes I just look at her, I'm like, I did that, guys.
You did what?
I made twins.
It's got nothing to do with you.
Yep,
Anyway.
I did that. Anyway, guys, so just want to say welcome back to the channel. And thank you guys for repeatedly watching our videos. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you are a returning resident, please continue to support us and to build the momentum here at Travel with the Dawson. So please remember to like, share, tell your friends and your family about this platform so we can all grow together. All right, so this week we decided that we're going to do a bit of reflection on some of the key things we learned from 2020. And also we're going to think about some benefits of a new year. So let's get right into it.
So we're going to be talking about what we have learned in 2020. And for me, one of the first things I learned is that I'm much stronger than I thought I was. It's been a crazy year. I have been working and studying since I was 16. And I haven't worked throughout the whole of 2020.
Crazy.
And for me, that would have been... She's crying.
No, we just have to continue. She's not crying.
Sorry, it's Eliana. Yeah, so for one straight year I haven't. A lot of hardship has come this year, a lot of things that we're not used to. And yeah, I'm still here. I'm still surviving. I'm still pushing through. So for me personally, I think I'm stronger than I thought I was. And you too.
Yeah,
you're stronger
I think
than you think you are.
Yeah, I think you out there, all of us, the fact that we survived this year shows that we are, or last year shows that we are much stronger than we think we are, because there's been so much challenges, you know, our lifestyle changed completely, routine changed completely. The things that we thought were important weren't so important. So we recognize that we have so much more strength than we thought we had.
And some people might have lost people that you think, you know, oh, I could never survive without my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister. And now they're not here, but you're still living, you're still surviving.
Yeah, even though it's tough and it's hard, you know, if you've lost loved ones, you know, a condolence to you and your family, you know, but what we can say is that you will get through this. You know, you're much stronger than what you're going through. And all of this is just building you to be a better person. So, you know, just something to learn from 2020, that you are stronger than you think you are. All right, so number 2 is you are more resourceful than you think you are.
Definitely.
Much more resourceful. The things that we had to live with in 2020, like many of us, we were accustomed to, you know, to having a lot and accustomed to doing so much and going out and enjoying all these things, but we didn't have them, and we made do. We had to find games like on social media. We had to connect with people through social media. So we had to use little little resources to do great things, and many of us have made big connection in this season because of the little that we have.
Yeah, even for us, as I said, not working, so
Yeah.
not having that extra
income.
income.
Yeah.
We had a lot more
Surviving on one.
Well, we had
one
to
salary.
do like date nights at home.
Yeah.
We had to just make things fun, like games nights at home.
Yeah.
And movie nights and just having
enjoying each other company, really just learning to satisfy what you have. And in financially, things that we thought we needed, we realized that we can live without. There's a lot of things that we would do that we'd spend money on, we didn't have to do it. One thing that I'm grateful for is that I don't have to pay any fare to go to work. What?
I don't think the NHS would want to hear you say that.
Right.
But also a book has come out with it. So the resources sometimes is in us. So we think that we need that extra resource to kind of pave our way through or get to a certain destination. But the resources are right there and there in us. You were able to write a book in this pandemic.
And sometimes the resource is in you, but you are looking outside to create something. So I think the pandemic and 2020 have taught me that every great thing that we need is already in us. And there's a thing in my book where I said that the greatness that we need is never outside of us. Anything you're going to accomplish is already in you. And 2020 have given us a lot more space to reflect, to dig deep, and to find resources that can help us to create it. Because what we need to be successful, guys, is just an idea, Every great person out there, every rich person, they just had one idea. And in this season, you might have come up with ideas from 2020 that are going to be doing great things in 2021 if you can now transform it from just an idea into a plan and integrate it to become something that you activate. So you have the resources inside of you.
You're more resourceful than you think.
You are more resourceful than you think. All right, tip number 3, or learning number 3 from 2020, we learned that serving God is personal. And for us, we have not been in a church building since March of 2020, and we're still not in a church building. And throughout that time, in our church, at least in our church, Lighthouse Fellowship, we are so accustomed to be so integrated, where we're doing a lot of things together. We travel together, we go on trips, and we go out on weekends. We do so much together. But in this season, all of us was forced to actually just come into our own. And in this season, we have to learn that serving God is so much more personal. Even though you sometimes get pulled into having the crowd around you, it goes back down to having that intimacy and one-on-one relationship with God. And in this time, for me personally, I've recognized how important it is to really build your foundation in God. Because when people leave and so forth, you have to then ensure that you fall back on a firm, solid foundation with God. What have you learned about that relationship with God in this season?
I think we sometimes follow the routine of, well, for us we have Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and you follow that routine of going to church, having the people around you, having that constant drive, say if, of someone pushing you. And even in services sometimes you get that extra pump and whatever. But now when you don't have any of that, you just literally have Zoom. Of like...
Not even the drums and the keyboard and all these things that we're accustomed to, we had to do without them. We had to find way of just serving God, just stripping back everything and really just getting back to that traditional way of just speaking and just meditating and being convicted by the word of God without all the fluff.
It's been difficult because you have to find God in it. You have to find God in... you don't have the tangible people to hold hands with and pray and intercede together and whatever. It might be a phone call or it's on Zoom, and sometimes if you've never used Zoom before, if you've never used that kind of platform, it can be really, really hard. And you can tell, like, a lot of people just couldn't do it and have just been like, I can't do this.
Yeah, some
And
people have been zoomed out, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of zoom whereby you're not accustomed to that way of worship and so forth.
Yeah.
But I think it all
You have
boils down
to-
to a personal relationship with God.
relationship.
For some people, you know, they find God in different way in this season. But the most important thing is that from 2020, ensure that you learn that the most important thing is having a personal one-to-one relationship with God, because the crowd around you will not always be there.
Yeah.
The support you have will not always be there, and certain the relationships you think that are solid will not always be there either. Which takes us on to our next point.
Yeah, takes us on to point number 4, that sometimes your
your relationships, the relationships are not stable, and problems like 2020 expose relationships.
Yeah, definitely. So a pandemic or distance, it can really expose what is there. You see somebody every day, but the distance shows like someone who you thought was your best friend that you might see every day. And during this pandemic, when crisis really hits, who's there?
Yeah.
Who calls your phone? Does anyone even remember you to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Does that even happen? And for me personally, in 2020, a lot of my relationships that I had were exposed. A lot of people that you thought would be there till the very end are no longer there. It's hurtful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's happened.
Yeah, but I think that's something to really keep in mind, that relationships they can be seasonal, and relationship they are not always going to be what you expect it to be. And 2020 does show that problem expose relationship, and crisis brings out what is truly in a relationship. You know, a lot of us have gone through heartbreak, and I've certainly gone through a lot of painful moments in 2020 where relationships I expected to endure through time did not. But you know what? We have to really recognize that all these things are learning curve, and for us to really just still trust God and put Him first in everything. That's why the Bible says, in all your ways acknowledge Him, because He's our first, and He should be our the most important person in our life. So we have to live sold out to God despite of those who leave us. And another point that comes from this for me, which is going to be the final point, the 5th point, is that your pain sometimes push you to progress. You know, that's one thing I recognize from 2020, that all the painful situation that I've been through have literally helped me to really seek God more, literally helped me to actually think more strategic, think about how to move forward. I did not allow the pain of 2020 to prevent me from progressing. And I want to tell somebody today, I don't care who hurt you in 2020. I don't care what you went through. I don't care what challenges you had. Don't allow the pain of 2020 to prevent your progress. You are more than what you have been through. Come on, preach now, baby.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really true.
So the pain is really producing something, and the challenges that you've gone through in the last year must push you to produce something. For my wife to bring forth this baby, she's gonna have to feel some pain, but she's bringing purpose into life. She's been feeling the pain, can't sleep at night, and all these things, but she's bringing forth something. And if you're ever going to bring forth anything of great significance or value in this world, you're going to have to feel the pain of it. And that's something God taught me in the process of writing the book, that, you know, the pain that I was going through was bringing forth something. And likewise, it doesn't matter what you're going through right now, you are producing something more.
Although we have just spoken about 5, there's so many lessons that we've learned in 2020. For the sake of time, we can't go on to everything, but there are things like family for us. Family is key. Like it during this crisis, if it wasn't for family, it would be a very very difficult time.
Shout out to the Bailey's family and my family, the Dawsons, and all the families who have supported us in this time.
Yeah, not just us, but you know, other people that are alone and they only have their family. Some people that have caught the virus and they've had family that's had to deliver food to their doorstep and cook and community and all of that kind of thing. Family is key. And also, as you say, you have to push through. Blessings have come out of 2020,
Yeah.
so it's not all negative.
Yeah. A lot of businesses.
A lot of blessing has come through 2020, and if it wasn't for the pressure of 2020, it would never have happened, because you get so used to the routine of life, of going through, that if it wasn't for the time out, if it wasn't for the stop, the pause, now we can actually reset.
That's what we spoke about as teaching I had today, reset. But it's so important that we recognize in this season that we have to get to that place whereby we prioritize ourselves and never become comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, because what 2020 has started is that nothing remains stable. The lifestyle, the routine, everything that we thought we needed, we don't. It can change any minute, so always be thinking, what's the next step, or how can I move beyond my current comfort zone? Because we were so accustomed to going to church, to do all those things, but guess what? We don't have those things now in the same way, but we have to adapt. So adaptation is very important.
But babe, do you remember just before the pandemic hit, how we were talking about how busy we were?
Yep.
Like it was non-stop.
Yeah. We were very busy.
And then we were like, how can we structure our life to be less busy? And we physically couldn't think of any way possible
to create more structure.
And then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, because we had to travel. We had to travel between cities to go to church and to help with the ministry and so forth. And
a lot of things happened.
Plus I had to go back to work and travel in London. So it was just a lot of up and down, but this pandemic has just changed everything.
Yeah.
So we have to recognize that nothing is stationary. Things will change with time. Guys, so what we're gonna do now is to think about 3 ways in which you can actually benefit from the new year. So what are the benefits of a new year? So one, a new year I think gives us an opportunity to create goals or to revisit goals that we didn't manage to achieve and implement them for the new year. Yeah. For us personally, we believe in setting goals. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. And that's something we've been practicing. Last year, December, we traveled to Morocco around the Christmas 2019. That's 2019. And we wrote down our goals of what we wanted to achieve. It was a time for us to reflect. And most of the things that we wrote down eventually came through. Calesia found the book recently, and we were just going through, and we recognized that we actually managed to achieve these goals. What we did was to create 3 different categories of goals. Yeah. So we look at family goals, personal goals, and we had some goals for church or spiritual goals, and we break them down into each category. And what we recognize is that when you break your goals down in that way, you're more likely to approach them rather than just having generalized goals. When you make them more specific, or what we call SMART goals, then you're more likely to achieve them. Yeah. Of course, with most goals, you're not gonna achieve some. Yeah. Or when we revisited our goals, some of the goals that we didn't achieve are things that maybe around diet and exercise, which they said only 25% of persons who actually say that they want to go to the gym and exercise in the new year actually achieve it. And that's something moving forward I am definitely.
In our defense, gyms are closed.
Gyms are closed, but we can work out from home.
True. But instead we created twins.
Yeah, we created twins, which made it more difficult. But yeah, so that's one point. Revisit your goals. It's a perfect time to look at your goals. And if you don't have any goals, create some goals.
They don't have to be like, what do they call them? New Year resolutions?
Yeah, it's not New Year resolution.
It's not really that. It's more, it doesn't even have to be, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, baby brain.
Yeah, but what I would recommend is when you're creating goals, you break them down into 3 sections. Yeah. So you have what I call short-term goals. These are goals you want to achieve within 4 to 6 weeks. Then you have medium-term goals. These are goals you want to achieve between 4 to 6 months. And then you have long-term goals. These are goals you want to achieve between 1 to 2 years. So you have to really think about, what is it that I want to achieve in this month? And then you revisit those short-term goals every week, looking at them and showing that they are realistic and they're something that you can achieve or you can aim to achieve.
Just examples, we had like financial goals. That was able to go into the family segment. Traveling, like, you know, creating the goal to, okay, we need to achieve this much because we want to go here at this time. It didn't happen this year, but you know,
it's still something that is,
it's something that we can just move over to 2021.
And that's good, because when you kind of create different segment for how you want to achieve things, it makes it easier rather than you just saving and say you need to go on a trip. If you're thinking ahead and creating a goal to say that you're going to go to Thailand and you're thinking about it for the next 2 years, then from now you can be putting aside a pound, or I'm just saying, for example, you're putting aside 50 pounds, for example. From now until that time, you're not looking at that savings. It's just for that goal that you have. So regardless of what you are going through, you're already saving for that goal, so you focus on it. There might be circumstances where you have to squeeze into that, but you want to ensure that you replace it because that's your goal, it's your target. But if the goal is not in mind, it is not realistic and it's not achievable. So you have to write it down and keep it in mind.
Side note, I know I've kind of gone off topic a little bit, but on the finance, it's good to have different categories of savings, and that would help you not to dip into it. So if you have a goal to go to a certain place, for example, Maldives, hint hint, nudge nudge. If you want to go to a certain place, have a savings
account. With the Dawson. This is Trouble with the Dawson.
Have a savings account that is titled Maldives, and this is your fund that you're doing. So you know that all this money that you're saving is for this particular thing. If it's an emergency savings, have it as an emergency account. You know that I'm never going to touch this unless it's an emergency. You know, just structure your finances like that, and should work out.
So yes, basically you need to create structure and balance. That's the key thing. So another benefit of the new year, you have an opportunity to really now think about how you're going to progress your life, and I would say letting go baggages, letting go past hurt or pain, anything that you were carrying around. It's a time to clutter mentally, physically, and emotionally. Declutter. It's a time to declutter mentally, physically, and emotionally. There's certain people you're carrying around, unforgiveness, bitterness, hurt. It's time to recognize it's a new year to just let go of those things and really think about your life and what is important for your progress, your upward mobility, and prioritize you. At the end of the day, you are the most important person to you. If you're carrying around hurt and anger, you're carrying the other people and not yourself, because you're allowing them to cause you pain, them to cause you agony. So it's a time to let go your hurt, let go the unforgiveness, and heal from what you're going through.
Preach, preacher.
Come on now. You want to preach? Go ahead. But what do you have to say on that though?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, because you bring it over into a new year. It gets to the point where it just lingers on forever, to the point where you don't even remember why you're not talking to the person or why you're upset with the person. Then it goes on. Once you've brought it over into 1 year, you might as well, it's going to go on. It can go on 10 years, 20 years down the line. That you know, oh, back in 2020, someone did this.
X,
or it might be just something so petty that you just think that.
And not even if it's petty, no matter how rough it is. You know, it's so important to forgive. They often say forgiveness is not for the person, it is for you.
That's true.
Because you will not heal until you have let go the weight of unforgiveness. That's why the Bible calls it the root of bitterness. Because if something is the root, it holds you hostage. And
the longer you leave it, the more the root is going to be embedded.
So a new year give you the opportunity to uproot those things, which is difficult. It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard for you to let go of some of the things people did to you 10 years ago. But for your sanity, for your upward mobility, for your progress, you have to do that. And it requires you just seeking God first.
Agreed.
Final point. So a new year give you the opportunity to confront your fears and build your faith.
Wow.
Confront your fears and build your faith. As a therapist, is one of the most important thing for me when it comes to supporting people to manage any difficulties they have, psychological problem. You have to be willing to confront your fears. What is it that you've been fearful of? Sometimes you have dreams and ideas and goals that you've been putting off because you think, oh, people won't like it, or they will say negative things about me, or I can't step up to this level, I'm not good enough. This is an opportunity for you to confront your fears and tell yourself that you can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth you. You just need to, if you think it, if you imagine it, if you can see it in your mind, then you can achieve it. The fact that you came up with that idea, it simply means that it is something that you can achieve. God will not put anything in your mind for you to fulfill as a part of your purpose that He will not equip you to do.
What is one thing that you think you've done in 2020?
2020?
Yeah, that you've confronted.
Yeah, writing a book. Come on. I always wanted to write a book, but I just didn't think I had enough in me to say.
Oh.
I didn't think I had enough in me to say to write a book.
You're full of rhyme.
I'm full of rhyme, and I can talk, but then just still writing a book is a massive thing. In my mind, it was so big. It was like, oh, so big. But then I realized it's not even as big as I thought it was, because I'm thinking about writing the next one by now. So you recognize,
day by day.
Yeah, you recognize that when you start break things down and making sacrifice, because that's one of the key thing. I used to stay up when everybody is sleeping and write and do the things, because that's how you do it. Just pushing yourself to confront your fear.
Yeah.
When I think for me, you guys, for me, for me, English language is I'm not perfect at it, and I struggle with English language. But even for me, God to use me, someone who is not great at English, to write a book, He can use you to do anything. No matter how difficult it is, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've said a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most importantly, love.
Love what?
Love, people. Love God. And
it's
I
so
love
hard. It looks so awkward because of my belly. Guys, I'm sitting down, but the belly's so big.
Yeah, guys, belly is growing.
That is just so awkward. Oh boy. But yeah, I fear that I've confronted this YouTube.
Come on, guys, round of applause. Woo!
Oh gosh.
I'm so proud of you, though. Seriously.
Never thought I would be here. But
Wow.
I'm here.
She's here, guys. This is something that
I always wanted.
I always wanted to do, but my wife made up her mind last year, that she was going to do it. And look, when I look at the videos, sometimes like she's on fire. She's much more out there than I am.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Of course. But guys, thanks again for all the love and the support that you've shown throughout this time. Thanks again for subscribing to this channel, and thank you for constantly coming back and watching our content. We appreciate you, and we only want you to grow with us and to learn with us, because that's our desire, to impart wisdom that will change your mind and change the world. God bless you. Thank you so much, and until next time, thank you for traveling with the
one thing. Ellie's coming, but one thing, follow us on Travel with the Dawsons on Instagram, and send us a message and let us know what videos you want to see us do in 2021.
Yes.
We're about to be hit with the Dawson 5, so it's gonna be a bit rocky. So if we know what kind of things that you would like to see, it will make it a lot easier for us, and we'll be able to give you content that you want.
And also, guys, one thing that we specialize in is dating advice. Well, long distance dating advice. So if you guys have any questions about long distance dating or anything, feel free, or marriage, just feel free to shoot us your questions on Instagram or Facebook. Connect with us on whichever platform or in the comments. All right, thank you guys so much again, and until next time, thank you for traveling with the Dawson. And we cannot have
Eliana. You just wanted to show everybody your face, didn't you?
Elena will not let the show finish without coming and saying hi.
Say hi then.
Say hi.
Hi. Hi. Say it's my birthday on Wednesday.
My birthday on Wednesday.
And I'm gonna be.
What?
Say, how many fingers are you showing? How old are you gonna be?
1, 2,
Yeah, you're gonna be 3. Say bye to everyone.
Say bye.
3. I don't want to say bye.
You don't
Elena don't want to say bye, but we're saying bye. Until next time. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.